In a small town, there lived a woman named Eliza Thompson. She was known for her striking beauty and fierce spirit. Born into a family of modest means, Eliza spent her childhood dreaming of adventure beyond the confines of her little home. Her parents instilled in her the values of hard work and loyalty, qualities that would shape her life in unexpected ways. As she grew older, Eliza fell in love with a man named William, who was charming and full of life. They married young, filled with hopes and dreams for their future together. However, life took a harsh turn when William became involved in dubious dealings that led to chaos. Once loving and supportive, he turned cold and ruthless, putting Eliza in difficult situations. Feeling trapped and desperate, Eliza found herself at a crossroads. She had always been strong-willed, but now she faced choices that would alter her fate forever. In an attempt to protect herself from William's dangerous connections, she began to plot a way out. Friends noticed the change in her. She was more reserved and preoccupied with dark thoughts. As events unfolded rapidly around her, Eliza felt increasingly isolated. The spirited woman who once danced through life now lived in fear, believing that betrayal was lurking closer than she thought. It was this turmoil that ultimately drove her to the tragic act that would lead to her infamous legacy. Little did anyone know how the decisions made during those tumultuous times would end in heartbreak. Not just for Eliza, but for an entire community shaken by the consequences of love gone wrong. As months passed, the darkness in Eliza's life deepened. William's involvement in shady dealings became more dangerous, drawing the attention of unsavory characters who began to visit their home. She felt suffocated by the weight of his choices and the growing threat that loomed over her. Friends who once filled her life with laughter now shied away, fearing the repercussions of being associated with William. One fateful evening, during a heated argument, William's temper flared. He accused Eliza of being ungrateful and threatened to expose her secrets if she attempted to leave him. In that moment, something shifted within her. It was as if a protective instinct ignited. She realized that not only was her freedom at stake, but her very life. The man she loved had become a stranger, and she was terrified of what he might do next. Determined to escape, Eliza began gathering information about William's illegal activities. She learned about his connections with dangerous criminals and the threats they posed. Her mind raced with fear and anger as she considered her options. In desperation, she sought help from those who could protect her, but trust had become a scarce commodity. On a night filled with tension, everything came to a head. Eliza confronted William about his dealings, hoping for an honest conversation. Instead, his rage escalated, and he lunged at her in a fit of fury. In that instant of chaos, her instincts took over. She reached for a nearby object in self-defense. The crime was not planned but born from the desperation of a woman backed into a corner. Her fight for survival unleashed a tragic outcome that would forever change her destiny. As news of the tragic incident spread, the small town was divided between those who sympathized with Eliza and those who viewed her as a villain. The media seized the story, sensationalizing every detail and painting a vivid picture of her life leading up to the crime. Headlines blared about the beautiful murderess and a loving wife turned killer, capturing the public's attention and fueling gossip in cafes and homes alike. During the trial, crowds gathered outside the courthouse, eager to witness the proceedings. Supporters held signs proclaiming her innocence, while detractors labeled her a heartless woman who had betrayed her husband. Inside the courtroom, emotions ran high as witnesses recounted the chaos of that fateful night, each testimony adding layers to Eliza's complex tale. Eliza's defense attorney fought hard to paint her as a victim of circumstance. He argued that years of emotional abuse and fear had driven her to act in self-defense against an unpredictable man. However, prosecutors countered with claims that she could have fled rather than resorting to violence. This narrative clashed sharply with the image of a loving wife trying to protect herself, leaving jurors grappling with conflicting opinions. As days passed, it became clear that Eliza's fate rested not just on the evidence but on the stories crafted by public sentiment and media influence. Many saw glimpses of themselves in Eliza, her strength resonating with women who felt confined by their circumstances. Ultimately, in this high-profile case, She transformed into both a symbol of resilience and an embodiment of fear, forever etched in the town's memory as they awaited a verdict that would decide her future. The day of the verdict arrived with an air of suspense hanging heavily in the courthouse. When the jury announced their decision, shock rippled through the crowd. Eliza Thompson was found guilty of murder. The judge, faced with a tumultuous case that had captivated the town, sentenced her to hang. It was a punishment that echoed throughout the community as both supporters and detractors grappled with the weight of such a harsh outcome. The reasons for her sentencing were layered, involving a mix of legal interpretations and emotional responses. The prosecution argued that Eliza had acted out of malice rather than fear, claiming she had ample opportunity to escape William's rage. To many in the courtroom and the public, this narrative seemed to negate her years of suffering at his hands, highlighting a legal system that often failed to understand domestic abuse. In the days that followed, Eliza's family and friends were devastated. Her parents struggled to comprehend how their once vibrant daughter could face such a fate. Supporters rallied outside prison walls, holding vigil for justice they felt had been denied. Many people shared stories of resilience against their own struggles, inspired by Eliza's plight. However, there were also those who believed justice had been served. They argued that violence could not be excused regardless of circumstances, believing Eliza needed to pay for her actions. The division widened. Families found themselves split over differing views on morality and justice. As Eliza awaited her execution date, she became more than just a name in the headlines. She symbolized the deeper issues of love, fear, and societal expectations that resonated across the community. A reminder of what happens when desperation leads to tragic choices. The day of the execution dawned with a heavy, somber atmosphere cloaking the small town. A crowd gathered outside the prison walls, their faces a mix of sorrow and anger. Some held signs that read, "Justice for Eliza," while others justified the sentence, believing she deserved her fate. Inside the prison, Eliza prepared herself for what was about to happen. Despite the grim circumstances, she maintained a sense of resolve, standing tall as the guards escorted her to the gallows. As Eliza stepped onto the platform, whispers filled the air. The wooden structure loomed ominously, a stark reminder of the harsh reality she faced. Family members watched from a distance, tears in their eyes. Her mother clutched a photograph of a younger Eliza, smiling and carefree, memories that seemed light years away now. Before the noose was placed around her neck, Eliza took a deep breath and addressed the assembled crowd. "I did what I thought I had to do," she said, her voice shaking but determined. "I loved him, but I couldn't let fear control my life anymore." Her final words hung in the air like a haunting echo of defiance against her turbulent past. Suddenly, before the executioner could proceed, a loud commotion erupted from within the crowd. Supporters surged forward, trying to reach her and plead for mercy. The guards quickly intervened to restore order, adding chaos to an already tense moment. As Eliza's life slipped away amid gasps and murmurs from onlookers, emotions ran high. Some wept openly while others turned away in disgust. This tragic ceremony not only marked her end, but also ignited fiery discussions about justice, love, and desperation that would resonate within the community for years to come. After Eliza Thompson's execution, the community was left in a state of turmoil. News of her death spread quickly, and the reactions were mixed. Some mourned the loss of a woman they viewed as a victim of circumstance, while others felt vindicated that justice had been served. Local papers continued to cover her story, titling articles with phrases like, "Tragic love story ends," and "The gallows claim another." In the months that followed, Eliza's name became synonymous with discussions about domestic violence and the legal system. Support groups emerged, inspired by her plight, advocating for better protections for victims and raising awareness about the complexities of abusive relationships. Many in the community began to see Eliza not just as a murderer but as a symbol of resilience, representing the struggles faced by women in similar situations. Her burial site became a point of pilgrimage for those who sympathized with her story. People would leave flowers and letters detailing their own experiences or simply offer their condolences to a woman they never personally knew. Tales began to swirl, recounting her final moments and the bravery she had shown in the face of fear. As time passed, Eliza's story evolved into local legend. Some claimed to hear whispers at the gallows where she was executed, believing her spirit lingered, warning others against the dangers of love turned toxic. Campfire tales depicted her as a tragic heroine, whose ghost roamed, seeking justice not just for herself but for all those who had suffered as she had. Ultimately, Eliza Thompson transitioned from a mere historical figure into an eternal symbol of the fight against oppression, and her legacy continued to inspire conversations about love, justice, and the oft-ignored struggles faced by many women. Eliza Thompson was laid to rest in a small, serene cemetery on the outskirts of town, where rolling hills met the edge of a tranquil forest. In an unexpected twist, her grave was placed directly next to that of William, the man she shot. This burial choice sparked deep conversations among community members about love, loss, and the complexities of their tragic relationship. The decision to inter Eliza beside William served as a powerful symbol. For some, it represented a final reconciliation, a testament to the tumultuous yet passionate bond they had shared. Others saw it as a haunting reminder of how love can turn dark and destructive when entangled in fear and violence. As visitors approached her grave, they found flowers and tokens left by those who felt compelled to honor both lives lost in that tragic confrontation. Community reactions varied widely. Some viewed this burial arrangement as a poetic gesture, believing it highlighted the duality of Eliza's life. A woman driven by love, but ultimately consumed by despair. Others were disturbed by the proximity of the two graves, feeling it glorified a tragic narrative that should not be romanticized. As time passed, Eliza's burial site became a place of reflection for many. People visited not only to pay their respects but also to contemplate the broader themes of her story: the struggles against domestic abuse and the societal expectations placed on women. Local legend grew around her grave. Whispers told of a haunting presence felt nearby, serving as a reminder of the dangers lurking behind closed doors. Ultimately, her resting place became more than just a final resting spot. It transformed into an eternal symbol of love's complexities and the urgent need for understanding and support within relationships plagued by violence. Eliza Thompson's story continues to resonate today, serving as a poignant reminder of the complexities of love, abuse, and justice. Her life and tragic death sparked conversations that reach beyond the confines of her small town and into broader societal discussions about domestic violence and the legal system's treatment of victims. Many advocacy groups cite her case as a pivotal example when discussing the need for legal reforms that address the unique challenges faced by individuals in abusive relationships. In literature and media, Eliza's story has been retold in various forms: books, documentaries, and plays, each interpretation offering new insights into her life and choices. Through these retellings, modern audiences grapple with questions of morality, asking whether Eliza's actions can be justified as self-defense, or if they reflect a darker narrative of desperation. These discussions are crucial in fostering empathy and understanding regarding the experiences of those who find themselves trapped in similar situations. Moreover, Eliza's legacy has spurred educational initiatives aimed at raising awareness about domestic violence. Schools and community organizations often incorporate her story into programs designed to inform young people about healthy relationships and the importance of seeking help. As her story evolves over time, it remains a powerful catalyst for change. Eliza Thompson is not just remembered for her tragic fate, but is celebrated as a symbol of resilience, an emblematic figure who inspires ongoing dialogue about justice, morality, and the urgent need for compassion toward those affected by abuse. In this way, her legacy endures, urging society to reflect on its values and responsibilities towards vulnerable individuals seeking safety and support. The tragic tale of Eliza Thompson encapsulates profound themes of love, betrayal, and redemption that resonate deeply within the human experience. At its core, Eliza's story highlights the complexities of love, how it can inspire both passion and pain. Her relationship with William began as a beautiful union filled with promise, but ultimately devolved into a nightmare of fear and violence. This transformation underscores the notion that love can sometimes become entangled with betrayal, leading individuals to make desperate choices in their pursuit of safety and autonomy. Betrayal is another key theme woven throughout Eliza's life. She felt betrayed not only by William, who transformed from a loving partner into a source of terror, but also by a society that often overlooks the struggles faced by women in abusive relationships. Her actions in self-defense were painted as malicious by some, further complicating the narrative around her choices. This reflects a broader societal failure to understand and support those trapped in cycles of abuse, leaving them vulnerable to harsh judgments and consequences. Redemption emerges as a poignant theme as well. While Eliza's life ended tragically, her story has sparked ongoing conversations about justice and compassion for victims of domestic violence. In death, she has become a symbol of resilience, an emblem for those who find themselves in similar struggles. Her legacy continues to inspire hope and change, urging society to reflect on its values and responsibilities toward individuals facing adversity. Ultimately, Eliza Thompson's story serves as a powerful reminder of how love can be both nurturing and destructive, highlighting the urgent need for empathy and understanding in order to break the cycles of violence that too many endure. Through her tale, we are encouraged to strive for a world where love is protective rather than harmful, fostering connections built on respect and safety.